seafood. This is what we're looking at right here. This is here's the pizza. Yes. What is going on, guys? So we are going for a little trip from Kiev. We are actually going to the western part of the country, rented a car and all that, and we're gonna go for a couple of days just to explore how things are. And so we are in downtown Kiev right now, just leaving Kiev. The car is here. Here's the car. The car is ready to go. And so it's gonna be an awesome adventure. Looking very much forward to it. Gonna visit a nice city in the west and then go to Lviv, which should be a fun city as well. And so hopefully it's gonna be a fun trip. Alright, we just made it to the city of Zhytomyr, which is on the way to the western part, and it's freezing here. It's like 0 or -1 degree Celsius, but it feels a lot colder than that because of the wind. And now we're gonna go out, we're gonna get something to eat, rest for a few minutes, and then continue our journey. And so, I mean, first thoughts is that the city is kind of random. It's almost like you don't even feel it. It's almost like it's some small village or something, but apparently it's a big city, so I don't really know what to say of it so far. Maybe once I drive around a little bit more, I'll get a better idea what it is, but right now I don't really have much to say about it yet. We'll see. Alright, we just got to the shopping center looking for the restaurant, and it's kind of confusing because the maps don't really tell the whole story. But this is how the shopping center looks like here. And it's not exactly at the level of Kiev, but it's something. Something in between the quality of Kiev and something else. Alright, so we couldn't find that place. Apparently it's closed, but we ended up finding a pizza place, so I think it's gonna be good. I haven't had pizza in ages, so I'm looking forward to having a little bit of pizza. And it looks like a legit place too. Alright, so the pizza has arrived, and actually I did not expect it was gonna be this big. This is seriously a huge pizza, and I'm not even that hungry, and so let's see what we can do. Alright, so we just came out of the shopping center, just had pizza, and the pizza was surprisingly good. I expected it to be, you know, like a typical Ukrainian pizza, which is not of the highest quality, but it was surprisingly good. I was surprised in a good way, and I would rate it probably 8 out of 10. Okay, so that's the pizza. So we are done. The next course of action is to get back into the car and drive westward until the city of Rivne or Rivne, and that's gonna take us about 3 hours. And we're gonna make a small stop over there, and then we're gonna continue another hour and a half to our final destination of Lutsk, Ukraine, where we're gonna have dinner and check into the hotel before continuing the journey. Alright, so we made it to Rovno now for a quick stop to get some coffee here, some tea and some coffee. And then we're gonna continue the journey to Lutsk. It's about an hour and a half to go. And it's really hard to say anything about the city simply because it's kind of dark, so you can't really see anything. But from what I've seen, it looks like a pretty cool city. It looks a little bit better than Zhytomyr, and so I look forward to seeing it during daytime some other time. And so the next stop is going to be Lutsk, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away. Got into Lutsk, check into the hotel, and this hotel is absolutely amazing. Check out a quick room tour here. Check it out. This is where you're entering here, and look at this beautiful hotel. And you got really nice, check out this bathroom here. Beautiful. Amazing hotel here. You got a bathroom, you got a bed right here. You got a little table here. And then you also have the view. And there is the view. And you can't see it right now because it's at night, but the view is amazing of the city. Check out this table here. Amazing. TV. Wow, really cool hotel room. And so I can't wait to see what the city is like. And so the plan is right now to get some food real quick, and then maybe walk around, check out the city a little bit, drive around, and then we have the first half of the day tomorrow to explore the city as well. And after that we're gonna be driving to Lviv, which is about 2 hours or so away from here, and Lviv is a gorgeous city, so more videos to come from there. So this is what the restaurant looks like here at this hotel, which is absolutely incredible. Can't wait to see what it's like, because it looks pretty amazing here and quite a deal. Alright, the breakfast has arrived. Some hash browns and eggs. It looks pretty damn delicious too. Just checked out of the hotel here, and I have to say it's an amazing hotel. Pretty amazing place in the middle of nowhere in Ukraine. A small city here in Ukraine, but the hotel is sick. This is what the hotel looks like. And it's amazing. The food is great, everything is great. Was very impressed, and as you can see, the rest of the city doesn't look anything special. But the hotel was pretty good. And so right now we're gonna go out and explore a little bit of the city, see what it has to offer, and then report back. So we just arrived at a castle here, and this was supposed to be a must-see castle. So we are curious, what's the big deal with this castle? And being a must-see castle, we just had to visit to check it out, because I don't really think there's a lot of things to do, a whole lot of things to do in the city of around 200,000, and so might as well do some historical and touristy things. And so we're gonna check it out, see what it's like, maybe drive around the city for a little bit, show you some sights, and then go from there. So here at this castle, and this is what it says here. It says the castle of Lutsk, and then you have the number of the century. And what is that? And so here are some signs here, and this is the whole territory here. This is what it looks like, just to give you guys an idea. And it looks like a cool little thing if you're into history, if you want to learn more about what this city is, what it did, the whole story here. Here you go, lots of interesting things here. So we're gonna go one by one. So we're gonna climb the stairs here and go up on top to see what we can find over there. And so here we climbed the top walls for hopefully a nice view to see what's going on. Here you have a nice top view of the whole castle, the garden, some parts of the city as well. And I think you cannot go any further than that. That looks to be close, but at least you have a decent view. So here's what the city looks like. Alright, so we just finished checking out the castle, and let me share you some thoughts. It definitely wasn't the best castle I've ever been in my life. It's been an okay, I would call it, a small town, small, very regional kind of castle, if you will, in a regional city. It's not the best castle. Do I recommend it? I would say 50-50. Simply because if you don't have anything else to do here, then it's definitely an option. But if you're not going to be going, I do not recommend coming here just for the castle. I recommend coming here just to see a different part of the country, something new. But the castle, I wouldn't say it's a must-see. And so that's that. So the next part is to check out a little bit of the city, walk around, get a feel for it, and then head to Lviv. So here we have that famous I Love Lutsk that you see in pretty much not just all cities in Ukraine, but cities around the world as well. And it's been a very popular thing to do in Ukraine as of yet. And now here we are at the main square of Lutsk, of the city of Lutsk, and we're kind of, I would say, we are in the most, how would I say it, we're in a situation, in an area where the city is gonna get as greatest as it is now, if that makes any sense. In other words, this is the center, this is the main part of the city, and this is the most city-like you will see Lutsk, because as you go away and away from the center, you're gonna be seeing more smaller streets, other areas and things like that. And so if you are somebody like me who is a city person and you want to, see what is Lutsk really like, is it a live city, is it a village, is it a big city, you just go to the center and you're gonna see the most city-like this city will be, if that makes any sense. And so I hope that makes sense. And here we are. Now, how would I compare Lutsk in general to the other cities I've been here in Ukraine? Lutsk is not as beautiful as Lvov. It's not as pretty as Vinnytsia. It's definitely not as big as Kiev, but that's comparing apples to oranges. So I'm not even going to compare it with Kiev. It's not as kind of picturesque as Odessa, but it is prettier than Zhytomyr. It's prettier than Khmelnytsky. So it's kind of in the middle, I would say, when it comes to these smaller cities, right? You cannot compare it to Kharkov or some of the other places. And so this is how I would compare it. Lutsk as a city, it's not the greatest city, it's not a must-visit city, but it's a city you can come and enjoy a little bit and have a good time. So here I am on the main street here, walking around. This is what it looks like, and this is another area that you want to visit here in Ukraine, simply because you want to see what the main pedestrian city is like. You want to see, okay, what is the main city like? Is it a lively street? Or there are lots of little streets? The other thing that Lutsk reminds me of is Ternopil, which is a city that's nearby. I want to say it's a couple of hours away or so, and so this is it's a city that reminds me of this. And here we have one of these smaller streets, and this is actually pretty cool. Okay, before I came here, my opinion of the city was a little bit different, but this is actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little street. I kind of like it, and so I am kind of enjoying it, I will say. I am enjoying this part of the city. It's very lively. It reminds me more of Poland than the capital region, and so the lunch is here. We have an avocado salad here, and we have a hummus and a mini kebab here. Looks pretty good, to be honest with you. Finished our quick lunch. Really great place. Really nice dishes. And we had a nice little hot meal, something bigger than an appetizer. 2 of these, 2 juices. Pretty decent size, about 300 ml juices, so not like some small juice. And then a coffee as well. And that all together cost about $10 for 2 people. So, and the restaurant was really good too. So definitely it was really high quality food, really nice ambience, really nice atmosphere. And as I was sitting down at the table, it just realized something that I want to mention as well, is that this part of Ukraine is like pretty much like a different country when you compare it to Kiev, when you compare it to cities east of Kiev. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is like a different world. And right now there's the pandemic and we're kind of limited where we can go. And so this was like my #1 choice here in Ukraine, simply because it's like a different place. You come here and first of all, the language is different. In Kiev, mostly everybody speaks Russian. Here they speak Ukrainian. But it's not just that. The people look different. The culture, the whole environment, everything is just different. And so that is why it's like, it's kind of nice. You're still in the same country, but you feel like that you went to a different country. And so if you're not from Ukraine, you probably are not aware of this. This is something that I want to talk about as an insider, as somebody who is aware of somebody who is from here, somebody who understands the region, because this is kind of how it is. And it's quite nice. It's quite nice to rent a car, get on the train, fly, get on a plane, anything, and go to a different part of the country and feel like you went abroad. And so this is exactly how it feels for me, as somebody who's actually from this region, to come here and to enjoy the restaurants, walk around the parks. And now that we finished having our lunch, it's time to go to our final destination of Lvov or Lviv, depending on if you want to pronounce it in Russian or Ukrainian. And this is arguably the prettiest city in Ukraine. It's the most picturesque city in Ukraine. It's one of the most touristic cities in Ukraine. And it's a beautiful city. I've been there a couple of times. And it's always nice to go back, especially with the current situation where you can't really travel. So We're gonna have a 2-hour, 2.5-hour drive. Gonna try to make it before it gets dark. And I'll see you in Lviv. Alright, we just arrived to Lvov after a long drive from Lutsk, and I'm gonna do a quick room tour just to show you what you can get here for a very, very affordable price. And so here you have the room. This is just one room. You have a TV here, you have a nice bed as well here. Okay, then you have the bathroom here, then you have the bathroom, you have a nice shower. And as you can see, it's pretty high quality. It's not low quality, it's all very clean. You have a boiler here for warm water. Everything is here. And then I forgot to mention is that you have a little bit of a kitchenette here, a small kitchen, and all of this costs about 850 grivnas a night, which is around, I don't know, $30, 30 something dollars a day. And this is what you can get right in the center of the old town of Lviv. So we are in Lvov today, and it's actually one of my favorite cities in Ukraine, actually, because being here right away, it doesn't feel like you're in Ukraine. It feels like you're somewhere else. And look at this beautiful weather over here. Spring. It's springtime in Lviv. It's about 10 degrees Celsius. Absolutely incredible weather. It doesn't even feel like you are in December. And in Kiev it's like -1, -2. In Kharkiv it's like -5 or something. So it is truly an amazing weather. And so it's pretty crazy. And so what is the plan today? The plan for today is to get some breakfast, to get something really good, walk around, do a little bit of sightseeing, maybe have some Chinese food later on or something else. And yeah, do some sightseeing, some relaxing. But to be honest with you, I've been to Lviv or Lvov many times, maybe 5 times or something. And this time is truly special. And I think it's because we haven't really had a chance to travel much around because of the lockdown and everything. And coming here feels like you are in, you know, in Central Europe, maybe in Poland or Hungary or something like this. So it's truly amazing. And so right now we're gonna check out this place called Super. Gonna check out this place right here. They say it's really good, and we'll see. And so the breakfast is here. This is what we're looking at right here. And this is for the lady. A little bit smaller, but it looks damn good. Alright, we just had breakfast and it was pretty good. I had an English breakfast and I would probably rate it as a 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10. Pretty damn good. Almost close to what you have in the States. Almost there. Now I'm gonna walk around a little bit enjoy the scenery, enjoy the life, enjoy this amazing weather, and see what we can see, if we can find something interesting to do, to see. So here we are at the main square in the city. This is the center of the old town, and what can I say? It's absolutely majestic, and like I said before, no matter how many times I come here, every time feels special, especially this one. Feels absolutely incredible how beautiful the main area is. And so I am very glad that we came here, to be honest with you, because it's just so different than the rest of the country, than the rest of Eastern Europe. And in fact, Lvov was part of Poland before World War II, and after World War II the borders were moved westward so that this part of the region became part of the Soviet Union, and everything the borders kind of shifted. Things got a little bit rearranged, and so you have a lot of minorities living on the border with, for instance, with Hungary. You have a lot of Hungarian minorities in Ukraine on the border with Hungary. Same thing for Poland, Slovakia, etc., etc. And over here, this part of the world, it doesn't look like at all anything even close to resembling Soviet Union. Now, granted, if you leave the old town, if you leave the center, you will find those Soviet buildings and things like that. Absolutely, there's no escaping them. But here in the center, there's absolutely no trace of this recent past. Day 3 in Lvov now, and we're gonna go to a really nice breakfast place right now, get some good breakfast, and then start to get ready and get ready for a drive to go back home. So this is a place that's legendary here in Lviv for having really great breakfast at a really cheap price. It's like 160 grivnas for a really awesome breakfast. So I can't wait to go check it out. It's gonna be good. I've been there before. I always come back, so hopefully it's gonna be as good as last time. breakfast, and it was like one of these places where they have kind of all you can eat. But you know, I've been to this restaurant called Bachevsky many times before, and this time, I don't know, I wasn't that impressed with it. I don't know, something has changed. And so this is it. We're now going back to the apartment, packing, and it's time to go drive back to Kiev. It's gonna be a long drive. Lots of stops along the way. The road should be good, so I'm excited about it. And so let's see how that goes. Alright, we just arrived to the city of Dubno. It's close to another big city called Rivne. And the reason we're here is that there's actually a nice castle that's supposed to be here. And this is what it looks like. There's a castle to come out and to have a little bit of a rest stop. And one thing I want to point out is this beautiful weather. It's actually sunny here. And when we get back to Kiev, there's not going to be much sun, unfortunately, for a while now. And so the plan here is to get a little bit of rest, maybe get a bite to eat, take a look at this castle, get some fresh air, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much things to do here. The temperature right now is about 3 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit windy, but it's a glorious sunny day, which I'm super happy about. And so we're gonna check out this castle, take a look what's going on. And other than that, I don't think there's much to do in this city. And so we're gonna keep moving, get to Rivne, make a stop there, and then make a stop in Zhytomyr, and then it's Kiev. And so we're gonna arrive to Kiev maybe 8-9 p.m. in the evening. And so you can read a little bit about the city, what is going on here, the situation. If you understand Ukrainian, you can read, learn about the city. Let's go take a look at the castle that they have there to see what it's all about. And unfortunately, I have no idea. This was recommended to me in the last minute to stop here, but I had no idea. I didn't even know anything about this particular castle or the history of it or when it was built. And so I typically like to read upon these things, but maybe next time I will know, because it's a lot better to read first about it. Then when you come here, you know exactly what you're getting into, other than to visit a random castle and not really knowing the history of it. At least that is my thoughts on that. So here we are at the castle in Dubno, and apparently this is a rather famous castle here in Ukraine. And there's actually, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of castles here. And they have a restaurant on site, and there's also a place where they tortured people. And this was built in the 16th century, and it existed from 16th or 15th century to about the 18th century. And I'm assuming it was probably built by the Polish people in power that were basically, running this region before it was Ukraine at that time. And so we're going to be checking it out, taking a look, and then continuing further steps just to see what's there on top, see if there's anything interesting. And actually, compared to this other castle that we saw in Lutsk that I talked about previously, this should be a lot better castle to check out. And so let's take a look on the top if we see anything. And it's higher quality. They have some fields here, a view of parts of the city, a view of the territory as well, that you could see the territory below. But other than that, not much to do. So we're gonna go back down and seeing what else is there interesting. And so here we have some river that's flowing. And that's kind of what we have here so far. And so check out this view. It's pretty nice compared to some of the other cities that I've been to on this trip. This is probably one of the nicest kind of little views that I've seen so far. There's a bridge there, and then as you can see on the other side, there's even like a children's playground, a road, some benches. So it's pretty cool compared to some of the other things that I've seen where it wasn't as nicely taken care of. This is actually pretty decent. I'm quite impressed with this. They even have a little cannon here on top of the hill protecting us, and this little building as well that is locked. But yeah, it looks pretty nice here actually, in the middle of Ukraine somewhere. So it says here, climbing is prohibited. Negligence can lead to injuries, so no climbing here. But then you can also see an edge of the village over there. So this is like your typical Ukrainian plains. Flat, some mountains in the background. Alright, so we just entered one of the buildings here just to check out the insides. And this is kind of what it looks like. Right here, this is one of the rooms here, and it looks pretty cool. You have some histories. Some animals here as well. And this is the old money from Soviet Union, 1961 to 1991. You can take a look at all of this here. This is what it looks like here. And these are Polish money that were used on the territory of Ukraine. Some old money here. So they also have some quarters of all the 50 states in the US. So you can read it. Quarters from 1999 to 2008. And you have all the states here listed. Pretty cool. This is like Ukrainian art, basically. You could take a look. Contemporary Ukrainian art. It says олень, which means deer. Now we're just gonna go check out the second floor, see what they have over there. It says it should be very promising what they will have. So in this room there seems to be some artillery here. See, this is 15th century, 16th to 17th century, 16th century artillery. Pretty cool actually. Lots of tools that they used to fight off the invaders. And this is what the typical towns look like, with the moat and the fences and all that stuff protecting it. Pretty cool. And then you have the leaders, the main people that were in power. Here's another room with some amazing knives, some really interesting knives they have here. You could take a look. We just had some pizza over here in the small town of Dubno, and gonna be driving back home now, and it's about 4.5 hours back to Kiev. We're gonna see, we're gonna try to make it in one shot. If not, we're gonna stop in Zhytomyr for like a little break, and we'll see how it goes, because it's gonna get dark soon and it's not a lot of fun driving at night in Ukraine because of the road conditions, and then we will see. And so we're going back home.